They're harder to find.
If somebody knocks on the door, hey, I was a 5-year intern at whatever, and I know the ins and outs, I'm looking for a job, immediately you're hired. So it's about finding the skilled person.
Yeah, or also just reaching out to try to find those people. They exist. They just have to be dusted. Oftentimes you have to find them as much as they have to find you.
Yeah, but I think that would be a difficult find. Maybe where would you find them on LinkedIn? That's maybe the only way.
I don't know. In the US, I use Craigslist a lot. You'd be surprised what you find out there. So a slight term. So obviously, Instagram has been instrumental in your career in terms of people finding you and doing. Have you done any other social platforms? Like, have you tried with TikTok or YouTube Shorts?
TikTok, but that's yeah. I'm on TikTok, but TikTok is I don't want to say that it's for kids. That's cliche to say this, and I know
it's not.
The key again there is to really. Yeah, I know it's not. No, I have respect for TikTok. Not a problem. I am on TikTok. It's just not lifting off for me there. But anyway, I'll just continue.
I can tell you from experience. From my experience, and mind you, I got very lucky. I had two videos explode that, like, the algorithms caught right and exploded on TikTok. And it was what I've now I thought I knew what social media was all about. I didn't. If you have one viral video, and because the way it's not about like your network anymore, it's about the content, one viral video can so drastically change everything. So ironically, it was the same two videos on Instagram and TikTok, and my Instagram went from 13,000 people to 80,000 people in 4 weeks. Right? Like, just straight up. And by the way, it was two videos. That was it. The rest of my videos are like, they all get more views, but it was one or two, like, all it takes is one good piece of content. So my suggestion is just keep grind it out.
Yeah. This is the thing.
And try different weird things. Like, you have a cool process. Like, try cool things, man. Like, you never know until all of a sudden it happens. You're like, whoa, it just happened. And like that, it changes everything. It's amazing.
Yeah. This is one thing that you really need to push out the content. This is the game of the day.
I spend 2 hours a day on content. I probably spend as much time on content as I do on actually making art, which sucks, but it is what it is. Now, you have, because of the nature of your artwork, that it's very versatile. Do you ever do like collabs or with other people because they like your style, and do like interesting collabs with different people?
Not really. No, I have not done a collab. I did a collab with the furniture designer in Portugal. Yeah, that won my stuff on their furniture, but not really like two artists together. No. I would like to do.
No, I actually meant more. I meant more like the furniture thing. Do people like take your stuff and put it on their product? Yeah,
like a licensing deal. Yeah.
So, how did they find you, or how did you go about getting that collaboration?
They found me.
And what? Can you explain what the collaboration was, or is?
That they use one particular painting that I did, and they have it on a salon table. How do you call it? Salon table? Just a table in front of your sofa.
Okay, yeah. Like coffee table.
Yeah, and seats. A coffee table, and also seats with cloth.
I bet you that looks pretty cool.
Dining chairs with my stuff on there. Yeah.
And what brand was that with?
Oh man, it's difficult now to think about.
Don't worry, I'll edit it to make it look good.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff on my head. Sometimes I have a short memory.
It's okay. I'm with you. I'm of the same age. If you remember, tell me. I'll edit it in. Do you do any PR? Do you do anything with a publicist or anything like that? Or have you played around with PR? Because there's some articles and some interesting things around about you.
I was going to tell you no, but you said that you found stuff.
I thought I did.
Yeah, there is
like
again, many that came to me for asking for interviews, just like you, for example. Yeah, I was in a few magazines, but that just came out of them requesting me. I'm not going to say that I have not written in the past part of my hustle. Yes, to knock on doors to get articles, but you can only get an article at the publication if you are from their area or something like this. It needs to be newsworthy. So I cannot get an article right now. I have nothing newsworthy.
You can always make something newsworthy. The question: Do you do art fairs at all? And what's your
No,
really?
I did. Galleries that I'm with went to the art fairs and where I have my art. Yes, I've been
that's what I mean.
there in Miami. Yeah, but not me personally.
No, but I meant your galleries take you to fairs, like you show.
Yeah.
Like, do you find that is a good converter or like discovery, so people find you, or it's their business and they sell a couple of your pieces?
Yeah, I was hoping that we need eyeballs. We really need. That's all we need. Attention, eyeballs.
That's it.
And the fairs, the galleries again, they of course they have expenses. They want to make sales. Everybody wants to make sales, and they are betting on their glory artist. And then I'm not a glory artist, so they push the glory artist, and I'm in the corner. You see what I mean?
Happens. Until one day you're the glory artist.
Yeah. Again, like I said, it's time. You need time to make it happen.
Yeah, tell me about it. So we've been chit-chatting for almost an hour now. And so one of the things I like to do as we start coming to the end of the interview, and this is because a lot of the people who watch this are other artists, some fans, but there are a lot of this is for me a pay it forward kind of thing where you try to learn and teach. So I usually ask 3 questions. 1, what was your biggest mistake? I wish you could do that one over. On the flip side of that, what was like your greatest achievement? And then what's your best piece of advice, like a tool, a trick, a tip, that's something you would get, or some piece of advice. You gave it like you gave one earlier, so that one might be a redo. But anyhow, so let's start. Like, what do you think the biggest mistake was?
We could really speak for hours and give really golden nuggets to every aspiring artist out there. I know this.
Please.
Because I had a difficult time and mistakes. What are the mistakes? I had some sucking situations from gallery fights in between, for example, but is that my mistake? It's not really my mistake. Galleries that are jealous from each other. Oh, what the fuck? I thought that we had in Saint-Tropez and now you're in Monaco. What the fuck? And look, and that gallery is putting your prices at this price and our prices at this price. Yeah, but is that my mistake? No.
How do you manage that?
So shitty things happen, and again, depends where you are. Like for the aspiring artist there that wants to have, I want to be in a gallery. The gallery is my savior. I will sell art. It's not true. It is difficult with galleries. I had a situation with a gallery in France that was jealous. Then I was also with another gallery, also in France, and they kicked me out. Another one example. I was with a gallerist in Connecticut. Oh, fuck. And it was a good gallery, and they sold a lot of my stuff. They really sold a lot of my art. I don't know if I should name the name, but I did one post on Instagram. If you say that a mistake, that is not a mistake. But again, it goes to show you about your freedom as an artist. Are you really that free? Or should you be Mr. Nice Guy? Oh, yes, I'm going to paint this and I'm going to be nice, and because you're scared to whatever. Yeah, I got kicked out from this good gallery because I painted a painting of a lady like this with a cucumber, like doing a blowjob. It was actually a very cool painting. And the day after, I get an email from the gallery. Dear Dimitri, in regards to this post that you made, the gallery assistants found it so whatever, and we can no longer work with you. Is that a mistake for me? Is that a mistake?
No, because that's your artistic vision, right?
Look, this was not porn or whatever, and to be clear, all what I paint is what I personally like to paint.
Of course.
I wanted to paint this with a cucumber. I liked it myself. That's what I did. That's what I painted. Was it a mistake to put it on Instagram? No, it was not a mistake. Actually, I had so many. It was like a super post. It was a super post comment, but the gallery kicked me out, and it was a super post. And I killed the post. You know.
Right, when you get controversy, controversy always brings forward.
That's good. Controversy is good.
It's great.
Because it connected us. I don't know if they. Yeah, and it's a pity because that was a good gallery. It's just that they were so religious. I don't know. Yeah,
happens.
So you have to be. I don't know. Do you have to be careful? No, you're an artist. You have to do what you want. But again, it depends on that. Where you are, if you can afford that freedom, this is the difficulty of being an artist.
And so what do you think your biggest and greatest art achievement is so far?
You know what it is? My biggest achievement is that I can live on my art. That is the biggest achievement. I'm very thankful for this. That is the goal. Of course I want a Lamborghini. Of course I want the mansion, of course. But I know life, and that is the greatest goal you can achieve, to provide for yourself.
With something you love.
Something that you love, exactly. Something that I was hunting for this for so many years. This is what I wanted to do. Paint, be an artist, travel the world, go to galleries, make my own art, meet people, and make a living from it. And that's what I'm doing today. That's exactly what I'm doing today. So that's my biggest achievement so far. Of course, I want to grow, but this is coming with the time naturally.
You found it. So any good pieces of advice or tips that you would give to, in addition to what you've given so far, to those up-and-comers out there?
I would say have a certain style, that this would become your branding, that they can say, oh yeah, that's the dot guy. Oh yeah, that's the guy who paints sausages. Oh yeah, that's the guy who does this. I think that this is very important. Good execution. It does look professional. All my stuff, when you see it in front, it almost looks printed. So my stuff is professional. Yeah. Professional execution. I think that this is very important. That if you go to a gallerist, let's say, that they see, oh yeah, this guy, this is not an amateur.
I think that
good execution.
I think your point of style and brand is super important. I think that's one of the most important things, that there's work that you're known for, and that people connect you with that. I think often artists miss how important that is, and that your art in essence becomes your brand. I think that's spot on.
Again, we can speak a lot of hours on this subject. It's important because, look, let's say you went to art school and you did portraits so very well in oil paints, and you need to do a portrait of this person. Oh yeah, man, this looks like that's really this person. And then the other guy, his name is, and this is Peter, and they all paint this portrait, but it's not shown. It's not Peter. It's not. They're all the same portrait. So if you would go on the marketplace and you have no idea if this was Paul, Sean, or Peter. So it's very important to have a style. And I see many, let's say if you go on YouTube, hey, how I made it as an artist. Young ladies out there, great, they do well with different things, like they would paint little birds. But if I would ask my neighbor to paint the bird, if they can paint a little bit, the bird will be the same. So again, if you want to move forward, you really need to have that signature style and big branding.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
You cannot make out who painted this little bird.
Yeah. think that, yeah, I think that's actually probably one of the most important starting parts for artists today. And I think actually that's a good place to, with that little nugget of knowledge, I think that's a good place to end today. Where do people find you and where do people find your art? What's your Instagram? What's your website?
I have a simple answer. Just Google my name.
Okay.
It's not to be cocky,
And for those
or
watching,
anything, but just if you Google, it's Dimitri Likisas, Dimitri Likisas. Just Google it, and you will find your platform that you're on. Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's Twitter. I'm everywhere. You can always be contacted easy.
Perfect. And just so everybody knows, I will put all the links in the notes below, and so you can track down his work, which is awesome. And now that I know actually how you make it, I'm even more impressed. Dimitri, thank you for, by the way, thank you. And thank you for having the courage to start over, rip the Band-Aid off, start from scratch, and follow your dreams, man. That's what it's all about. That's the motivation
people need. That's what it's all about. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and to know that it can happen.
It can be done. I mean, it can be done.
Just as perspective, how old were you when you had this moment?
Just 6 years ago. I'm 52 now, so 40, whatever,
so
46.
47?
Yeah.
So just so you know, everybody who thinks it's too late, you can't be done, it can do whatever, 47 years old and you started, and look where it is.
Yeah, if you're living by your parents, you're 18 years old, you're living by your parents, and if you're able to paint something with a specific style, and you can hustle a little bit on Instagram, man, you can be a superstar.
Yeah, for sure. 1000%. Anyhow, Amazing interview. Thank you for the motivation and the dream. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. The dream is alive. Thank you.